What makes absolutely no sense to you at all? Seems like half of the true crime shows I watch involve life insurance. What I don't understand is how the perpetrators convince themselves that being the beneficiary on a brand new life insurance policy and then having the insured turn up dead within days or weeks is not going to put you under a detective's microscope. Even more suspicious are the ones who immediately make the claim for payout within a day of the death. At least sit on it for a month or two and act like you're grieving. My first language was Spanish, which I learned at home. I learned English at school and with friends outside of school. In addition, German is spoken. Surprisingly, when I speak in my brain, it's always in English. When I pronounce them out loud, though, they come out in the correct language. If you don't have money, you are charged fees. How babies just go from swimming, breathing in a pouch of goo to being born and able to breathe normal air. It makes no sense to me. How does something go from not breathing air to breathing air in like a second? Dick is a shorter way to say Richard. Like when the fuck does Richard turn into Dick? If you're going to have a shorter way to say Richard, just say Rich, because that makes sense unlike Dick. Sorry for anyone named Dick out there, but your name makes no fucking sense. You can break a bone and it will heal on its own, but if you develop a little cavity, you must get it filled. How the moon is in perfect rotation with the Earth to the point where we only see one side of the moon at all times no matter what. If a pizza costs $9 and I order 2 of them, where the hell does my pizza joint get $39.86 from? Those Facebook photos that promise you a lot of money if you post them. Is it true that people believe it? How, in what environment, under what conditions, could that possibly work? Is this some sort of inside joke that I'm not aware of? Right, amen. How Bluetooth works. What is the root of consciousness and why is there something instead of nothing? Space. Look at the moon. Some days you can see Saturn or Jupiter out there. Look at the stars. You think about us, people on this rock in space all running around. We're floating in space on a rock. Spinning around. All together. One. And space is just so big. It's overwhelming. Really, really big. I can't even comprehend how big. It doesn't even make sense how big it is. Planes. It still amazes me how something that massive can fly. Punishing the kid who fought the bully. How people came up with baking. I get eating meats and veggies and fruits. That's just food that's pretty much ready to go. But somehow someone figured you can grind this plant into a powder, add a certain amount of water and some chicken eggs and some oil and some other crushed plant stuff and then heat it for X minutes and now you have cake or bread or cookies or whatever. How did Weismer and Kronk get back first? Why does gold have inherent value to humans? Grown-ass adults not taking responsibility for their actions, property and expecting others to clean up after them. When I wear sunglasses anywhere while it's cold outside, some cashier or receptionist will say something to me like, "Oh, look at you, longing for warmer weather," or remind me that there's snow on the ground, or ask me why I'm wearing sunglasses when it's so cold outside. Guys, it's a beautiful day. They aren't referred to as hot weather spectacles. Why everyone calls those kids in those, "I told my kid I ate their Halloween candy," videos bratty if they get pissed. The kid has every right to be upset. All you're teaching your child is that they're not supposed to be upset if someone takes something they value, and that they've put time and effort into procuring. I've always hated those videos. How people can just go up to complete strangers and start a conversation. It comes as naturally to them as breathing. Edit. Well, that was a lot of notifications to wake up to. And thank you for the awards, first one I've ever received, Purple Heart. Second edit. A big thank you to everyone giving us socially anxious, neurodivergent and introverted folks some very helpful advice. We'll definitely give some of these a go next time. That I can't get a job without experience. Like how am I going to get the experience if not at a job? Why do I have to file my taxes? You already know what I either owe or am getting back. Just either bill me or pay me. How your body knows when to stop growing your eyebrows, arm hair, leg hair, pubes, etc., but your facial hair and the hair on your head grows endlessly. Why people are so offended by swear words that they gasp and change channels when they hear someone say, "Damn, my mom does this." Shush has explained it to me multiple times and I still don't get it. How the internet works. Balancing equations in chemistry. I tried for weeks to understand the concept but I still can't understand moles and Avogadro's number to save my life. Edit. I'm 32 with a career that doesn't require balancing chemical equations. I appreciate the offers to help learn though. Goat eyes. As a high school teacher, I just force my students to write a point, evidence, justification paragraph proving that goats are aliens. Bitcoin. People thinking the earth is flat. House price rises. How seriously can people have so much money for crappy houses? Where are all these great paying jobs that service the mortgage? My partner and I have decent middle class jobs, teacher, nurse, yet cannot afford to buy in the city where we live. And not even close to the city where we live. How can a pandemic wreck an economy, throw thousands out of work needing to rely on government handouts? Yet house prices increase. Fucking magnets. Photographs. I push a button and a moment in time is saved forever. WTF? That black holes can bend light. Like, what is that blasphemy? Redstone comparators. Spending most daylight hours at work 5 out of 7 days. Small businesses not opening up on Sundays, which is one of the only 2 days per week most people are off. Most of fashion industry not supplying clothing items to plus-size people, and obviously missing out on a ton of money. Men who hit on women, get rejected and immediately start insulting them. Personally, I've been called a fat slag, a slut and an ugly bitch by men who were trying to get me to go out with them and were politely declined. Dancing. The idea of moving my body around in time with music is completely alien and unfathomable to me. NFTs. People that don't flush public restroom toilets. What's the deal with that? Do they not flush in their own homes? Is it laziness? Contempt with society? Seeing retail and other workers suffer? Just not knowing better? People being proud of traits or actions that are negative or at least not positive. For example, people proudly saying that they don't read or don't exercise. Credit scores. How people don't see how they say, I couldn't care less, wrong. They say, I could care less, and I correct them and they just don't understand what I'm saying. It makes no sense how you can't comprehend that to me. How little people care about their privacy online. Also toilet paper math. People intentionally harming others, just for the sake of causing pain. Just. Why? Do you even know yourself what you're doing? How awful that feels. Maybe someone should do the same things to you, maybe you'll understand then. Not like that's the best way to do it, but the one most likely to succeed. I guess. Shaving eyebrows off and painting back on. Dishwashers. Shouldn't be that easy to get dishes clean. The more I think about love doesn't make much sense. It is weird how this random person you basically randomly met at one time in your life suddenly becomes the most important person in your life, so much that you would kill for that person. The same person can suddenly become the person you want to kill if that person breaks your heart. If you would have never met that person, you wouldn't have any negative or positive feelings about that person, but would have those feelings for another person. In the end, love is one of those things that don't need to make sense. It is something to just enjoy when it happens. How the masses keep voting for people who have zero interest in advancing their causes. How normal income people afford to go on vacations. Is everyone just living in massive amounts of debt or what? I can barely afford to go camping for Christ's sake and I don't owe the bank anything. Who in their right mind would take out a line of credit to go somewhere?